Now, my next guest, she was cautious about these mega cap growth names for the last few times he's been on the show. Let's bring in Main Street Asset Management CIO Aaron Gibbs. So, Aaron, you were already kind of anxious about all of this stuff anyway.
I have been for a while. I don't like it when we have such a lack of breadth. And I'm very much in the class of investors where you just showed that survey where we saw this huge drop in confidence in June. It really is concerning where we're seeing these valuations and this lack of participation.
So it's just one day,
right?
But it's a record-breaking day so far.
It is.
So it's the best day ever, right? For small caps versus large caps, the best day ever, right? So there's definitely, but we've had false alarms before. Like there've been moments where the small caps outperformed for the week, and the Russell had a good day or two, and then all of a sudden it's back to the revision to the new mean, which is like, hey, when in doubt, put all your money in these mega cap names. You think that could be over finally?
I think so, because we are really getting close to a cut in the federal rate. It's all about the interest rates and having that cut. And even if it's not coming from inflation really dropping significantly, even if it just stays flat, I think the catalyst, and this was part of his testimony, the catalyst is a weakening in employment.
Isn't it interesting, though? I want to jump in here because the week that he could have set himself up with inflation being the reason,
right?
The last 2 days on Capitol Hill, he put the focus deliberately on jobs. Initially, when he started talking about a shock to the labor system a few months ago, I thought he was doing this because he wanted an excuse to cut sooner rather than later. But now it feels like he wants an excuse.
It's interesting. Who knows whether
it's a guessing game.
It is such a guessing game. Absolutely. But I think the real catalyst ultimately is going to come from a weakening jobs environment.
What would the number be then? Because again, a few months ago, I thought 4.1, 4.2. I've spoken to a lot of folks since then. I'm just my own polling is 4.5%. What's the number that gets the Fed to say, okay, now we've got to spring into action?
I would say 4.5%. And if we see that jobs number really drop, so the new jobs added, we've been seeing massive revisions come down, or actually not as many jobs have been added. I think if that number starts getting below 100,000 or zero, that's really a cause for concern.
What's interesting to me also is the Fed, they're brilliant people, right? They know they should be able to take out these government jobs, right? And some of these other things. It was only 136,000 private sector jobs last month. And that, to your point, probably could be revised under 100,000.
Right.
So let's talk about where you want to be invested right now. Last time you were on, you were talking energy.
Yep.
I know that you like the iShares Energy. Is it IYE? That's
IYE, yeah. It's lots of very well-diversified energy names. We've got the chart. All right, good.
Here's the thing now. So it's been on something of a downtrend.
Right.
Which is refreshing, by the way. But you're saying this June low, you think that's the low?
I think that's a low. I think part of the reason that we're going to see an increase in energy, whether it comes from oil or whether it comes from natural gas, is that I think just in conflict around the world, higher usage for summer, I think that's going to help push it up. And I really do think that a lot of the lows have been in place. And you can get a bit of an upside from here. I'm not sure that this is going to be like a 2-year investment here, but I think it is something that we should be looking at, particularly with increased energy usage.
Aaron, good stuff. You called it. You told everyone be cool, maybe take a few bucks off the table. You know what I mean?